everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review for The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. I can't say her name, but someone did pronounce it recently, I just forget how. So this review will be entirely spoiler-free as long as you have read the first book in this duology, which is The Wrath in the Dawn. I'm not going to be spoiling a ton, but do continue at your own risk just in case there are any accidental spoilers. I just recommend that you go and read the previous book before you watch this video. So this book is the sequel and conclusion to the Wrath in the Dawn duology, which came out last year and blew up all over BookTube, and it is a retelling of 1001 Nights. The first one is more so than this one, though. I loved the writing of this duology. I think it's really a strength of this series because it really was captivating and felt like a fairy tale, which I think is great because it's a retelling of a fairy tale. So you kind of want it to take on that fairy tale persona, and the writing was just so great that it did that. It just felt like it was this intricately woven tale that had been around for ages and ages, and I really loved that. The character development in this series was so great. I really liked to see how the characters developed on their own, and there were some new characters that were introduced that were also able to develop. The one issue was with the world building. I felt like some of it was kind of lacking, and some of the magic wasn't really fully explained, and it would just kind of happened. So that was a little bit disappointing, but overall I think that it really was well written, and I will basically read anything that this author writes. I'm saying this author because I can't say her name. As far as the characters go, Shazi is super strong-willed and just kind of badass, and I love that she didn't lose that in this book. She really was standing on her own in this book rather than being defined by her relationship, which I think was kind of a nice change because she was mostly in a relationship for the last book. So seeing her kind of apart from Khalid, which I'm pretty sure is pronounced Khalid, but I'll say Khalid, seeing her apart from him really was kind of refreshing. You got to see her in a new light, and I think it really helped her character to develop. One thing I love about Shazi is she's very clearly willing to sacrifice anything for those she loves, and that's kind of this character trait that she holds on to. It's really consistent throughout the duology, and I think that really is what defines her character. Khalid, I felt like, was a character who was hard to connect with in the first book, and even in this book, he just felt like he was kind of always distant, and I feel like that may have been a bit intentional, but you really could see how much he loved and cared for Shazi. I just wish he had kind of been able to stand on his own like she had been. Now, my favorite character that was introduced in this book was Isra. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I can't say any of the names having to do with this book, but that's Shazi's sister, and I really loved seeing her and her interactions with her sister, and you could see how much she really looked up to Shazi, and their relationship was just kind of nice to see in a fantasy book, because you don't usually if you get a sister relationship, it's in a contemporary, so I really loved that that was brought into this duology. So like I mentioned, the world building in this one was a little bit weak, and the plot I felt like was really slow through the vast majority of the book. I was probably like halfway through and nothing had really happened, and I still was kind of waiting and waiting, so it was really slow burning, but not necessarily in a good way. But when things did happen, I was like completely captivated by it and totally on board with it and guessing the whole entire time. The plot twist that was thrown in here was really unexpected, and I didn't see it coming at all, and I was just kind of like, pooh! So that plot twist really kind of redeemed the book from the first half, which was really slow. Now, this one didn't really focus on the relationship of Khalid and Shazi as much as the first one did. The romance was kind of put on the back burner, which I'm not like, I don't need romance in all of my books, but I felt like it was one of the most successful parts of this duology, so to have it on the back burner was a little bit, I was a little bit put off by that, and I wish it had been more in the forefront because it kind of made the series take a turn from where it seemed like it was going, and then it was a little bit of a disconnect between the two books. So overall, I give this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did really love it. I loved the writing, loved the characters, loved the world. I just wish that there had been more explanation, and I just didn't quite enjoy this one as much as I did the first one. So that is all for today's review. Let me know if you have read this book, your thoughts on it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!